Oh my gosh, I think we actually finally did it. We finally figured out the YouTube live feature for Wine Wednesday. What's up, everybody? Hang on a second. I got to use my iPad over here to send out the notification that we are live now on YouTube, which is pretty exciting stuff. It's your old buddy, Brad Austin. Hope you're doing all right. It is good to be here. And it's good to be doing this on YouTube. I've never done this before. I've done one Instagram live. It was a little okay. I did a ton of Facebook lives, like 3 years of Facebook lives, but I've never actually done an Insta or a YouTube live. So here we are. We're doing YouTube live right now, and you are my first people here. So I don't know anything about how the chat function works. I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I'm hoping that the audio is fine. So if you can hear me all right, let me know that. But otherwise, here we are, ready to rock and roll on YouTube Live. And I don't know really any of the stuff that is all the different features and everything. You and I are learning together as we go right now. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, okay, how do I do all of these things? How do I do all the stuff that I'm used to doing on like Facebook? How do I do that on YouTube? I have no idea. So, hello, Kevin. How are you, brother? I'm glad that you can hear me okay. I had to go buy a webcam for this thing. I usually spend all of my discretionary income on wine, but we got ourselves a little fancy webcam here at the Branch Inn. A little American flag for September 11th. We're having ourselves a good time. So, trying to get the kinks worked out of this. So hopefully you will bear with me as we do it. And let me just send this and put this and hit the share button. All right, so I've got this going, and then I've got my iPad going over here where I'm sharing this. So here we are. Hello, Tara Wyatt. How are you? We're on YouTube Live, which is an exciting good time. And I promise I'm now no longer distracted by all of the various things that are happening with all the new features and stuff that I see in front of me. But it's good to be here. Good to be on live again for Wine Wednesday. Good to be hanging out. Glad you can hear me okay. Hopefully the picture quality is good. And hopefully we have ourselves a fun little night tonight. We'll try this YouTube thing out and see how it goes. What are you cooking for dinner, Tara? What are you going to make, Tony and me and Ryan? What are you cooking? Hello, Leah. Good to see you, darling. So obviously today is September 11th, and it's the first time I haven't been on the radio on a September 11th. I'm trying to think exactly how long it's been. I was on the radio for the actual September 11th. I was in Biloxi, Mississippi. I was on the radio at K99, WKNN in Biloxi, the day that September 11th happened. But I'm trying to think. I think I've been on the radio to commemorate September 11th every year since then. I've changed jobs a couple of times, but I don't think that I've not been on the air today. So it was a little different for me because I wanted to get on the air and share and talk about September 11th and be a little patriotic and do all the stuff that I'm used to doing on September 11th when I'm on the radio. So it was a little bit different today, not being able to do that. So here we are, you and I, and we're having wine together because why not? Perfect timing. Thank you, universe, that Wine Wednesday happens to be on a September 11th, and we're in our new YouTube home here, and you and I can hang out together. We can talk about all that stuff. Tara says, shrimp, tilapia, sweet potato fries, and peas. That's a good sounding dinner right there. Save me some extra, by the way. Ryan and I will be over later. Hello, Vokul. How are you? Good to see you. So, yeah, September 11th, I was actually talking this morning to Ryan, and she was recounting the story off of Facebook because everybody on Facebook, social media in general, I call them keyboard cowboys. Everybody on social media is, they say big bad things because they feel like they've got anonymity and don't have to worry about it. And she was sitting there reading something off her Facebook of a girl that she went to high school with. Now, mind you, when September 11th happened in 2001, they were in like the third grade together. So didn't know anything about the world when September 11th happened. Not saying you have to be patriotic or not, but this girl basically was saying how America sucks and how everybody after September 11th didn't pull together and all this stuff, and people were just tearing this girl apart. And it got me a little antsy, by the way, that I wasn't able to be on the radio today talking about September 11th, because it's such an important day. It really is. It's such an important day for a variety of reasons. But I think the most important thing that came out of September 11th is September 12th, and kind of that mentality that people, they quit caring, right? They didn't care that you were a Republican or a Democrat. They didn't care whether you were black or white or brown. They didn't care if you were a man or a woman, if you were the boss or the employee, if you made $1 million a year, if you made no money in a year. Nobody cared about that crap. Like, that all went away right after September 11th, when we realized there are bigger forces at play in this universe than whether you drive the fanciest car in your neighborhood, or whether your kids have the nicest clothes, or your son or your daughter is the starter on their sports team. Like, we all just took a breath, and I think it made us realize, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff way more important in life than all the stuff we thought was important, right? And that's what I call the September 10th mindset. The September 12th mindset, I think, eyes wide open as Americans, we realized there's a lot more stuff we have in common than stuff that we don't have in common. And on September 11th, now 18 years later, I always think about that. And I think about, you know what? It doesn't really make a hill of beans difference at all what you do for a living. It doesn't make a hill of beans different how much is in your bank account. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you drive. It doesn't matter how nice your clothes are. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. What matters is what you are on the inside, like what type of a human being you are. And that is truly what I remember every year on September 11th, is how no matter how different we are in everyday life, we can always come together and find common ground, because we did it before. We were forced to by tragedy, but we did it. So I know we can do it again. So cheers to you, my friends, on Wine Wednesday, and for all of those brave men and women, including our first responders who gave that ultimate sacrifice. We raise our first toast of Wine Wednesday tonight to them. God bless. Tara says, I'll cook dinner for y'all anytime. Don't offer that, Tara, because old Susie Sunshine's in school and working all the time, which means not as many dinners as we would like together. So we might take you up on that. Hello, Holly. How are you? Hello there. Cheers to you. Hello, Charlie Kelso. What up, neighbor? Says, works better than Facebook Live, loads and plays more consistently. You know, the smoked venison, made that tonight. Leftovers, doors open. My man, pots and pans. That smoked venison was the talk of the Branson party a couple of years ago. I'm doing good, Holly. How are you? I'm excited about this whole new thing here with YouTube. It's very exciting. There's a bunch of new stuff. Like, I know you can't see it, but around my screen, there's all of this new stuff with the chat function and the different metrics and stuff that's on here. And it's going to take some getting used to for me. Plus, I'm not portable anymore. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, which, by the way, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And thank you if you have. We already hit over 300 subscribers, really in like the first week of it being advertised. But once I hit 1,000 subscribers, it's a rule that YouTube has. Then I can go live from my cell phone. I can take my phone and go and do a YouTube Live or a Wine Wednesday anywhere. But you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do that. So I had to invest in a little webcam, which wasn't bad. And I have to do it from one location. I can't, walk out into the backyard and do all sorts of crazy stuff until we get to that 1,000 subscribers mark. So do me a favor, keep promoting the channel, keep telling everybody about it. And make sure if you haven't, you hit the subscribe button, because that'll help a brother out. Tara says, I love to cook. I'll cook for you and Miss Ryan anytime. Telling you, quit offering that. Liza, how are you? Beth, I didn't even recognize you by the name Eliza until I read your comment. She says, this is exactly why I host Hot Dogs for Heroes. That is awesome. And love that event and love you for doing it. And God bless our first responders. It's ridiculous. John says, I can't use mobile YouTube, have to be desktop to be able to comment. Really? You can't comment on a live video on a mobile YouTube? That's crazy. Beth's having chicken cordon bleu in Miller Lite. If that doesn't sound at least 50% American, I mean, chicken cordon bleu, I think, is French, but it sounds pretty cool. Vokul, by the way, John, Vokul says that she's using mobile Facebook and commenting. So a couple of people are, as a matter of fact. But this is awesome. Look at us in our new home, sitting around, drinking wine, a whole new platform, you and me on YouTube, having fun, enjoying life. I wish I could go do some stuff. I feel antsy tonight. I want to get up and walk around, but I can't because I'm not using my doggone phone to do my live video. I have to be stuck here in front of this camera. But that's okay. We'll have fun. We'll entertain one another regardless. John, I don't know if you're doing something wrong, brother. But a couple of people say that they're able to do it. Hello, Nicole. Thank you. I just see the username, and I don't really know what's behind the username. I wonder if I can click on that, if it gives me any more info about you. It doesn't. So what up, Blaine? How you doing, man? Thanks for checking it out. Appreciate that. All right, Tara. Thank you, darling. Beth says, patience, you'll have enough subscribers. I have a big Irish mouth. That's fantastic. I love that. What's up, Toph? Good to see you, brother, man. We got reports here that it is able to be commented on the mobile version of YouTube. So maybe you have to update your app, make sure it's the most recent one. I don't know how you add a picture on your profile. I added mine a long time ago. I could probably try to figure out how to walk you through that, but man, this is something else, right? Oh, by the way, I have to tell you this. I don't know if it's still going on, but I smelled 432 candles last weekend. And if Ryan were here, she would want me to tell you about this, Susie Sunshine. We went to Yankee Candle, and they were having a buy two, get two free sale. So we came home with 8 damn candles from Yankee. And every time I turned around, she's like, what about this one? And she'd stick it in my face. And then I'd go to sniff it, and she'd hit me with a wick. Like, I don't know if it's still going on, but if you are into stocking up for fall scents, Christmas scents, go to the Yankee Candle store. I'm not doing an ad for them. I'm just saying I spent like an hour of my time at Yankee Candle last weekend and sniffed everything in the store. And I was a little congested. So unless it was really strong, I couldn't smell it. She's like, you can't smell that? Smell it again. And she'd stick it back in my nose. And I'm like, it doesn't smell like anything to me. So she'd take it, then she'd rub the wax to activate it, make me smell it again. Yankee Candle, by the way, I mention all that because I'm actually burning one of those candles right here. Look at this, Mountain Lodge. I actually could smell this one, and they gave me this little topper. I'm like bougie now. Look at it. I'm on YouTube doing Wine Wednesday. I got a bougie little thing you put on top of your candle. It smells like a Mountain Lodge here in the Branchen office. John says, I have it on my phone, but having to use the desktop version. I kid you not, I switched back to the mobile function, and now there is a chat box that wasn't there 5 minutes ago. John, it's messing with you. It's effing with you, John, is what it's doing. Susie says she also can't comment on her phone. Interesting. What are you guys doing? Are you guys doing, do you have iPhone or do you have Android? What type of phone are you using? Maybe it's something to do with the app and the support for the app on that particular phone. If you're both on an iPhone or you're both on an Android, I don't know. Nicole says Galaxy. Hey, Kathy King. I'm doing good. Thank you, dear. Vocool is on an Android. John is on an Android. Tom says, I couldn't comment on cell phone either, so if anyone knows what to do to help a brother out. Interesting. Well, John was having that same issue, Tom, and he went to the desktop version, then went back to the phone version, and then it was there. So I don't know. But I appreciate you guys checking us out and being here for our inaugural live on YouTube. It's very exciting stuff. What up, Josh? How you doing, brother? He says, watching live from Disney World. My man, you probably need a break from all the action because Disney has a tendency to wear you out. He says, taking a break before the fireworks. Well, cheers to you guys. I hope that you and Kelly and the kids are having a great time, my friend. God bless y'all, and I hope they have a really nice fireworks show for September 11th worked out. Deanna says, hello, any new job prospects that you could tell us about? As a matter of fact, a couple. Yeah. Thank you for asking. If you have any questions, by the way, like Deanna did, just feel free to ask. I'll probably answer just about any question. There may be some I won't answer, but ask away. You don't know unless I say no. I do. I had a fantastic meeting this week, actually 2 good meetings this week, one via phone and one in person. I had a meeting in Philadelphia this week, which may turn into some possibilities there, which is very exciting. I had a phone conversation with somebody about some work that would be based not in this area, And then I have several different irons that are in the fire for both jobs on the record promotion side of the industry and other radio positions too. There's only really one radio position that's kind of nearby that wouldn't require relocation. And I'm having that discussion. That's been going great so far. And then there are several that may not necessarily be on the radio side, but might be on the promotion side, working with the artists and the music that wouldn't require me to relocate either. And then there are some on both sides that require me to relocate. So having great discussions. I have not been offered a job of any kind yet, full or part-time, but that's okay, because none of these jobs are quick. None of these are like going to Wawa and putting in an application and they call you back 2 days later. It doesn't work that way for any of these jobs. It takes time to make sure that people kind of put all the ducks in a row and make sure it's the right fit, and you got to talk about money and all that stuff. So thank you for asking, Deanna. Having some really great discussions, and they continue. Had a couple of new ones this week. That's always exciting. I don't get worried about it really, unless things go quiet, and they have been anything but quiet. So that's good. Susie says the same thing that John did. Wait, now I can chat on the phone. I wasn't using the YouTube app, was logged in through Chrome. Now on the app it works. So I guess using the YouTube app is probably the way you have to do it. Maybe there's something to do with Google Chrome that doesn't let you do that. I don't know. That's strange though. Beth says, how is Miss Ryan doing at dental school? She is loving it. She is, she's got all sorts of crazy stuff. She's got this thing, you know, like those comedy chattering teeth, you know, like they're just the teeth that chatter. She's got like a really expensive set of those that she has to mount on this bracket so that she can work the angles of cleaning teeth. And I got to show you a picture. I could do this because we're not on my phone right now. I can actually show you a picture. She forced me after her first day in hygiene school. I need a drink before I show you this. A horribly unflattering picture of me. She forced me to sit down on the bed because she wanted to practice a new technique that she learned. So basically, I'm going to be a dental guinea pig for the next 18 months. This is the picture that she took, or I took, of her working on me. There she is, working on me in the bedroom with her new technique that she just learned at school that day. If my face doesn't say it all, I don't know what does. But it's going good, and she'll be honored and thankful that you asked about her. So I appreciate that. And now we're having to refocus the camera because that screwed it all up for some reason. It'll catch up. Don't worry. Tom says, Brad, I think I figured it out. If I open in Facebook, I can't comment. If I open straight from YouTube, I can comment. Okay. Well, there you go. That works. I think the drawback here, or the takeaway, is using the YouTube app itself seems to be the best way to be able to comment, even if you're on a mobile. So Cindy figured it out. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. Go Pack Go. Deanna says no issues there. Jeffro, what's going on, brother man? Thank you. Thank you for your text earlier today. It's good to see you too. Megan says, I had to open the YouTube app, but I wasn't able to comment just from watching through Facebook. I'm so happy it's Wine Wednesday. Miss hearing you on my radio, Brad. Thank you, Megan. That's very sweet. Is this picture, by the way, is the picture still a little bit fuzzy? I think me putting my phone up there kind of screwed up the picture because it focused on that and it never like refocused on me. So if it looks fuzzy on my screen, if not, just realize that the wine is kicking in and that's why I'm fuzzy. That's very sweet of you, Megan. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Deanna says, awesome. Glad to hear you have options on the horizon. Wishing you the best. Thank you. I do. Lots of options. I don't get worried until ain't nobody want to talk no more. And we're not at that point. So, hello, Denise. Thanks for being here tonight. Kevin, good to see you. Coley, good to see you. Megan says, is that red fingernail polish or blood from your mouth on that picture? Was there red on there? Let me see. Oh, no. I see what you're saying. This little thing, hang on, let me zoom in. That is, that's part of the grip. That's part of the grip on the instrument there. That's what you were seeing. Like it's a band. It's like a little band on the instrument that It's all color. It's a whole thing, Megan. Like it's color. It's a whole thing. Trust me. No, that's not blood. But I have a feeling over the next 18 months, old Susie Sunshine is going to be drawing some blood when she practices what she's learned on me. Normally I get excited. She goes, hey, go lay on the bed. I'm like, huh, all right. And then she comes in with that kit, the box of death, and wants to start poking and prodding me. Tara says, we're watching you on our TV. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, smart TVs, right? Pull up the YouTube app. Imagine how big my head is on like a 42-inch or a 55-inch TV right now. That would be funny. Denise, it's okay that you're late. I appreciate you being here. It's our first time doing this on YouTube. It's going to take people a while to kind of get up to speed on being here and following the link. And hopefully, I don't know if there's any sort of thing that you can click on as far as notifications. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I think the channel will give you a notification when I go live in case you forget that it's Wednesday night or whatever, or if we happen to go live randomly on the weekend, which we might, because Ryan's really bummed now that she's working and in school every Wednesday. She's really bummed she hasn't been able to be on Wine Wednesday. So we were talking about it today. We just might randomly on a Sunday afternoon go live, maybe during a football game or something, just to say hey, because she misses being able to say hey to you guys. Chuck, good to see you. You're all right, brother. Better late than never. That's what I always say. Donnie, how are you? What's up? Willie Nelson here. Finally got a username for YouTube just for Wine Wednesday. Dawn, I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Willie. Way to break out your Willie Nelson headband today on 9/11. Good on you. Topher says on the plus side, you'll save on cleaning costs. I said, it's true. That's true. Like, pray for me. That's all I'm going to say. Pray for me. Right? You've seen her. She's a little crazy, as my Jewish friends say, she's a little mashugana. So pray for me, because she comes home with all those instruments and the little mirror on the stick and all that stuff. And I'm just like, you saw my picture in that photo. That was pretty candid. And that was only day one. I got 18 months of this to go. Tara says, I sent you a pic I took of you on the TV. John's eating sloppy joes tonight. I love it. Let me see. Where did you send that, Tara? Did you send that? Oh, I got you. You sent it through Facebook. Look at that. Look at that sweet action. Look at me. Well, you can't really see it because of it's too bright, I guess. Look at me on her TV. I have to get the right angle so you can look at that. How cool is that? I can actually be on your TV now. I always wanted to be on TV. That's awesome. Thank you for sending that. I appreciate that. Denise says that she's watching it on TV too. Oh, that's a good picture, Denise. Look at what Denise just sent me on Facebook. Look at that picture. I look terrified. It either looks like a mugshot or I look terrified in that photo. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. And thank you. I know you got a bunch of other stuff you can do. A lot of stuff way more exciting than the chit chat we do every week. But thank you for checking it out on YouTube, and thank you for subscribing to the channel, and thank you for keeping the Wine Wednesday tradition going. I love that. Leah says practice makes perfect. Yeah, those aren't your gums talking, Leah. Those aren't your teeth crying. On practice makes perfect. But you're right. She actually does great. Blaine says Megan made ribs that were awesome and asparagus. It'll make your pee smell a little funny, right? Love ribs, though. Good on you, Megan. Go, girl. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for being here tonight. Megan says, if you two ever get married, it has to be live. This is the portion of the program, Megan, where I have to say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And with her being in school and me being temporarily retired and drinking wine on YouTube now, it may be a little while, but it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's true. Toph says you're in good hands. You've been on TV. Don't be telling people all of those secrets, Toph. There's a whole chapter of my life that nobody knows about when we used to do the TV show. How many episodes did we do? We did a little public access TV show years ago about sports. Well, back when I was in Milwaukee. We did like 110 episodes every week, a live 1 hour weekly show we did on TV. Oh, I mean, It wasn't as glamorous as like ESPN. It was about the furthest thing from it, but we had fun. Megan says her chihuahua's even laying on my lap watching you tonight. Woof, 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 woof. Thank you for what that means. Thank you for watching in Chihuahua. Well, okay. Here's the cool thing. Did we do 98 episodes? Chappie just texted me. Was it? Also, Justin Gerbowski from Adam Chevrolet just messaged me and said, I'm watching you from the toilet. Had problems making a YouTube account. Probably because you were focused on other things, Justin. I'm just, I'm going to throw that out there. I don't think it so much had anything to do with the fact that YouTube is hard to figure out. I think it's maybe your brain power was working on another problem at that point. But 98 episodes, that's fantastic. Thank you, Chappie. Appreciate you telling me that. 98 episodes. That's incredible. Yeah, so that was a whole nother life. A lifetime ago in a galaxy far, far away, back in the late 90s, I did a TV show for 98 episodes. It's crazy. Yeah, it was just shy of 100. I thought we did just over 100, but I think I ended up leaving because I had gotten a full-time job. I ended up having to leave home before we could get to 100 episodes. They hated us on that channel. Like the woman who ran that, hated everything about our show. She hated it. Hated the show. We were pretty idiotic though, but it was fun. Yeah, so Justin, thanks for being here tonight, no matter what state of disposal you're in. I appreciate that. It's comforting for me to know that you're sharing time with me and that daily task. I mean, hey, we all do crazy stuff on the toilet, right? Some people have books. They'll sit in there. They'll read magazines. People play Candy Crush on there. Like you're watching Wine Wednesday. You're also probably hiding from your kids because you do that too. I understand. Once you become a parent, it's like the only time you have any peace and quiet is when you're in there, right? So maybe that's what you're really doing. And you brought a little Jack or something in a cup and you're pretending so you can check out Wine Wednesday and get a little daddy alone time. I appreciate that. Megan says, Blaine's on the couch watching you with the Chihuahua now, and I'm on the other couch with my phone and the 10-year-old. You have taken over our phones in our house. World domination. All of the media, your television, your interwebs, your cell phones, your tablets. Look, I'm also watching myself, by the way. I'm not really watching, but I had to share it and I never turned it off. But I'm watching myself react to me. It's about, I don't know, 30 seconds delayed. Here, you're gonna see me pick me up here in just a second. Watch it. Oh, there I am. There I am. So we've taken over all forms of social communication and things. And I really have a feeling that this is going to be bigger than Facebook, because I think what happens with Facebook is there's so much stuff going on Facebook. Think about it, right? Live videos, status updates, posts, feeds. If you don't have the alert set, you miss it. And this just seems like it's a lot cleaner, where I can put up some content, some crazy videos that we do just for whatever, and then you can come and watch them at your leisure. It's all in one place, and then you'll always know where to go at 7 o'clock Wednesday nights when we do Wine Wednesday. It's all going to be in the same place. So I'm excited about this, and thank you again for being here. Denise says, are you going to be at the Midland concert Saturday? That's the WXCY 30th birthday bash concert with Midland and Sam Grow. My official answer to that, Denise, is no. I will not be at that show. I will not be there whatsoever. You won't see me, but I won't be there. Tara says, Tony doesn't like shrimp. He's eating mine, so I'm proud. Let me know when you guys want some. I want some shrimp right now, Tara. Someday in the future, you're going to be able to transport things through the internet. You know what I mean? Like, you ever see those space shows and people make stuff appear and disappear all the time? Someday. Back to the Future gave us that hope, that you'd be able to go talk to a box on the wall and it would spit out whatever you want to eat. Josh says, unfortunately, the Magic Kingdom is a mostly dry park. That's the crime of all crimes against humanity. Only one sit-down restaurant that serves alcohol. parents of small kids, like I know you and Kelly are, Josh, they need to put that stuff in a machine like a Coke machine where you can just walk up and get like a beer and keep on trucking, man. Because I don't know how many times you got to hear "It's a small world after all" before a man will just snap. I don't care how good of a guy or good of a girl you are. At some point, everybody just gonna snap. You know what I mean? Like you can only take it so long. You can only watch the princesses prance around so long before a man will snap. They need to have booze more widely accessible. If it's really the happiest place on earth, Mickey, then make us have some wine. Of course, isn't it the Food and Wine Festival? Or hadn't that started yet? Because then they got booze everywhere. But I think a lot of that's at Epcot, not Magic Kingdom. Sorry, bud. Hip flask. 2 words. Hip flask. That'll save you. Denise says she saw the eye wink. What eye wink are you talking about? I don't know anything at all what you're talking about. John says Cecil County FOP Crab Feast is Saturday night. One of the best parties of the year with some of the greatest people ever. That is a sold out event. Always honored to be a part of that. That's going on Saturday night too at the Cecil County Fair. If you're going, John, enjoy it, brother. Maybe you'll see me there. Never know. What up, Blair? How you doing, man? Good to see you. He says, will the Brewers make the playoffs minus Yelich? Sorry for the typo. I don't know, bud. I'm not sure. I'd like to see the Brewers do it. I'm a Cubs fan, as you know, but I always root for the Brewers, hometown team. I saw that the Dodgers just clinched on their side of things. I don't know. Will the Brewers do it? Possibly. Are they a strong enough team if they make the playoffs to go all the way this year? I really don't think so. I don't think they're quite there yet. But somebody's got to win the division. Somebody's got to win the wild card in that conference. So you never know. Jim, are you talking trash on Beth now? Are you talking trash? I feel like there's a fight that's about to break out here. Tara says, what wine are you drinking tonight? Well, Riesling, of course. Some things never change, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or whatever. Riesling. Tonight I'm drinking Relax Riesling. Normally it's Dr. Lucin. I have a bottle of Dr. Lucin that's freshly chilling. But tonight I decided, with being on YouTube for the first time, we would drink Relax. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Drink Relax. Wonder how many people on YouTube sit on here and drink wine in front of an American flag on September 11th and talk to people about going to the bathroom and watching, about how you should be able to drink at Disney. I have a feeling this is fairly unique content for folks on YouTube. The videos, I'm sure, are a lot more polished than this. They have a lot more structure to them than what we're delivering tonight. And this is, I think, par for the course maybe on Facebook, where you can go Facebook Live as you're driving down the interstate, and all sorts of bad camera angles and all that good stuff. YouTube seems to be like raising the standards a little bit. You can't be live unless you have 1,000 subscribers to your channel. They're kind of like raising the bar on what type of ticky-tacky stuff people can do on here. And we found our way in. We snuck in. Had to buy a webcam to do it. But here we are, talking about pooping and drinking wine. You're welcome, YouTube. Thanks for having us. Of course, my channel will probably get shut down after this video. Denise says, where were you 18 years ago when the tragic event happened, Brad? I talked about it at the very beginning of the video just briefly, but thank you for bringing it up again. She's talking about September 11th. I remember that morning. I don't remember another morning 18 years ago, 2001. I don't remember another day that year. I really don't. I don't remember Christmas that year. I don't remember my birthday that year. I will remember as long as I live September 11th, 2001, because I was working on the radio, country station in Biloxi, Gulfport, Mississippi, which is important for another reason in just a second. And I had just gotten out of the shower. I started, my shift was, I think, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I did the middle of the day shift, kind of like what Tim Hartley does now. So I had to be at the station by 9 a.m. Central Time. Remember that. because all of the events of September 11th happened Eastern time, Mississippi's in Central time. So I had to be at the station by 9 Central time, which would have been 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I was just getting out of the shower at like 8 or 8:15 a.m. when all of a sudden the planes were hitting the towers, and we realized it wasn't just a freak thing. My hair was wet, I was half dressed, and I was sitting on the edge of my love seat, putting my socks on, and I had the TV on in the corner of the room, in the living room. And obviously it didn't matter what channel you were watching, it was live coverage. I broke in with it. And I could see the smoke coming out of the one tower. And I remember going, holy crap, that's weird, man. Like, wow, well, I guess it's a tall building. And then I remember the other tower looking like it exploded at the top. And I knew I had to be at the radio station. I knew, because I had to be on the radio for the next 5 hours, that something big was happening, and I left. I ran out of the house. I didn't even have my shoes tied. I was 3/4 dressed, and I lived about 10 minutes away from the station. I ran out, sped all the way there, and then I was on the air for about 3.5 hours straight. We didn't play any music that day. We didn't know what was going on. We had no idea Osama bin Laden. We had no idea any of that stuff, especially not at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. By noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we started to get some of those details, but they had grounded all the airplanes. That happened early in the day, 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. Every plane in U.S. airspace was on the ground. And I say, remember Biloxi, Mississippi, because it's important. The radio station was about a block off of the Gulf of Mexico, and it was sandwiched directly between 2 military installations. I mean, we're talking less than a mile on either side. In Gulfport, Mississippi, you had the Navy CB base, and in Biloxi, Mississippi, you had Keesler Air Force Base, one of the larger Air Force bases in the southern United States. And our radio station was my nose right in between these 2 military installations. And if you don't think that military installations were tense on September 11th, you're crazy. But they were scrambling fighters out of Keesler Air Force Base. They were running supply missions in and out of there. The only air traffic you would ever hear that day would be a military plane of some kind coming in for an emergency refueling, transporting something or other. But I just remember that day, and I'll always remember it vividly. I remember sounds, and I remember one of my coworkers, Kelly, was crying that day. I remember being scared. I remember being angry. But at the end of the day, I remember being exhausted. I went home that night, and I didn't sleep the whole night. I should have, because I talked like this for 3.5, 4 hours straight that day before we went to network coverage just after lunchtime. And there was no downtime. What are we going to do? Play a song? Someone's attacking the United States. What am I going to play? Alan Jackson? We didn't have Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning yet. That came after that. What am I going to play? Chattahoochee? Hey, by the way, thousands of people are dead. 2 of the biggest landmark buildings in the United States are on fire and have collapsed. Here's Chattahoochee from Alan Jackson. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We didn't have that luxury. We were live on the air, and people wanted to hear something. We didn't know what to say. People they wanted to hear a human being. They wanted a connection. They were maybe driving in their cars. A lot of them by afternoon and evening were home from work. So it was all TV coverage. They were watching the pictures of Ground Zero, the smoke coming out of the towers that had collapsed. They were hearing the horrific stories, the replaying of the camera phone videos of the planes flying over the skyline and hitting the building. We had learned that people started jumping by early afternoon, and that instead of burning alive in a building, they decided to jump. It was a really, really tough day. But like I said at the beginning of this video, the most important thing, and I think the legacy of September 11th, first of all, is how honestly brave those first responders were. I mean, think about that. If your house starts on fire, what's the first thing you do? You get the hell out. You run out of the house when it starts on fire. A firefighter, a paramedic, a police officer, they run into the fire. These buildings, 100+ story buildings, on fire with jet fuel burning in them. Everyone's running out of them as fast as they can. those first responders, the Port Authority, the police, the fire, the EMS, into the buildings they went. And a lot of them died because of that. Incredible. That came out of September 11th, a newfound respect for them. And I think the fact that we got to quit being so mad at each other about stupid stuff that doesn't matter. Nothing matters on a day like September 11th, except for another human being and helping somebody and being loved and showing love. And I think that's the greatest legacy, honestly, of September 11th. Jim says, I like your YouTube channel better. Very clear. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you being here, by the way. He says, I was about 60 miles driving a truck September 11th. I could see the smoke in the distance. Holy cats. You're that close to New York City, huh? I remember thinking, because I came to Pennsylvania in early 2002, and obviously Flight 93 in Shanksville, PA, I can't imagine what it was like I was in Mississippi. That's a long way away from DC. That's a long way away from New York City. It's a long way away from Chicago, Philadelphia, LA, anything that could be a target. I can't imagine how you all must have felt when you realized that the attacks were centered in and around Washington, D.C., which, depending on where you are, is 90 minutes away. You had no way of knowing if it was a chemical weapon, a nuclear attack. You had no way of knowing. We didn't know what was going on in the moment. I can't imagine how terrifying it must have been for people, especially in Virginia and Maryland, around D.C., and then people right around New York City, where obviously the biggest of the attacks happened. That must have been absolutely terrifying. I don't know how I would have slept had I been that close to those locations. Absolutely crazy. John says, Feb 11th, 01. I'm sure someone here knows that date as well. That is the day that Dale Earnhardt Jr. died, if I'm not mistaken. February 18th, am I right, John? It's the date that Dale Sr. died. Dale Earnhardt Sr., not Jr. Megan says, I love that you're telling my daughter all of this because we were just discussing this while making dinner. I feel bad I don't feel bad. I feel sorry for kids, especially, I mean, look, if you were born September 11th, 2001, you're 18 years old today. Let that sink in for a minute, which means anybody who's a senior in high school now or slightly older, freshman in college, sophomore in college, recent college graduate, none of those people have any earthly idea what happened. If you're under the age of 18, you weren't even around when September 11th happened. It's just stuff that you see on the internet and you hear people talk about once a year. But, we got to be better humans, man. And the way to do that is just remember how you felt. If you were fortunate enough to be alive on September 12th, 2001, remember that feeling in the pit of your stomach. I remember not being able to eat, which is saying a lot because clearly your boy likes to eat. I remember not being able to eat for a day or two. I had no desire to socialize with people. It was hard getting up and going to work on September 12th and September 13th. I didn't want to go. Biloxi, Mississippi has casinos all over the place down there, the floating casinos. I didn't want to go see a show. I didn't want to go play poker. I just wanted to sit, and I cried a lot. And I'm not too proud to admit that. I cried a lot, and I prayed a lot, and I was scared a lot. And as bad as it is to say it, that's something we have to remember. That fear, that love, that internal kind of passion that drove all of us to look at somebody and not go, that's a black, lower income, probably Democrat, or that's a white, upper middle class, probably drives a Chevy Republican. We didn't look at people like that. We looked at people like, that's a human being. That's an American. We quit. The president of the United States, who happened to be a Republican at that time, had like a 90% approval rating in the weeks after September 11th. 90% of the people in America have agreed on nothing since then because we quit worrying about the stuff that divides us. And that is why I feel sorry for kids who might not have been around on September 11th because they don't know that feeling, but it's up to us to make sure that they always remember that. Much, I'm sure, like generations before us did with the attack on Pearl Harbor and the World Wars and some of the stuff with Vietnam. they tried their best to carry that legacy on too. Blair says, Brad, I created a full YouTube account full of local severe weather events. Take a look at it for me. I will, brother. You subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. Hetty says you started earlier tonight. Hetty, we jumped in at 7 o'clock this evening. Yeah. The good news is, though, these live forever on YouTube. So when we're done, you can go back and watch it, just by the fact that you're bored, you have nothing else to do, right? Or you put on your YouTube and it keeps the mice away. Play my videos, keeps the mice out. That works too. John says correct about February 18th. Yeah, the day that Dale Earnhardt died. I was a huge NASCAR fan. I haven't watched NASCAR in probably, not seriously, I haven't watched NASCAR in at least a decade, maybe 15 years. But I was a huge NASCAR fan back then. Huge. I'd gone to a race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, had gone to a couple of other NASCAR events, had met Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was driving for Budweiser shortly after I got to Pennsylvania in the early 2000s. He came to the one of the distributors in York, PA, and I had a chance to meet him. Was a huge NASCAR fan. Just something happened after that. It was all over for me. Beth says, we all know how devastating 9/11 was, but 9/12 was the day America became even more badass. Every store was sold out of flags. We gave blood everywhere. We fed homeless. We hugged. Amen. That is the legacy of September 11th. Not the buildings, not the airplanes, not the terrorists, none of that. The real legacy of September 11th actually begins on September 12th, when we all stepped up and we just became Americans who gave a crap about each other. And I hate the fact what had to happen for that to happen to us. I am so thankful we learned that lesson. It was one of the hardest ways you ever could learn it. But my God, you're so right. September 12th was absolutely, that's the legacy of September 11th, is September 12th. We went up to police officers and firefighters and we gave them a hug, or we shook their hand and we said thank you. When we saw servicemen and women in the airport going to or coming back from deployment, we would stop and we would clap and we would applaud, and we still do that today, and we would thank them. We go up to them and say something to them. And then people on the streets, we helped people. People who needed something, we gave and we gave and we gave and we gave. And what a fantastic legacy about America that was. Hey, Chappie figured out how to comment. He says, now you just need advertisers and you'll start getting paid. I'm hoping one of these wines that I keep drinking, and I need to drink more, by the way. I'm talking so much that I'm drinking less. I'm hoping one of these wines that I'm always talking about wants to become an official sponsor of Wine Wednesday. Appreciate you, Chappie. Megan says the legacy of September 11th needs to happen now because these times are ridiculous. It really is. It's so true. It's so true. Man, you can't post anything. You can't post anything online without somebody taking offense to it, arguing with you about it, or wanting to get into a debate about it. Because people I think a lot of people have gotten into the mindset that they just sit and they wait to be offended, or they wait to argue with somebody. Maybe they've got a lot of pent up frustration, and that's how they get it out, by going on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and they want to argue with people. And that's not what it's all about. But it's crazy. It's just, nobody will ever take away from me what lives in my heart after September 11th. No matter how messed up or screwed up this world may get, and let's be honest, we're human beings. We got a really good knack at screwing things up. No one will ever be able to take away those experiences from me or how they made me feel. And if you were alive back then, I hope the same is true for you. If you weren't, if you're younger than that, it's awesome. Learn and read and do all you can. Just know that the legacy of September 11th, like I said earlier, has nothing to do with airplanes or terrorists. That is not the legacy of September 11th. That's what caused September 11th. The legacy of September 11th is every single thing that happened after that day. And it starts with the human factor and how people treated each other. And it's a beautiful story. It really is. Aw, look at that. I'm sorry about the mouse thing, Tara. Sorry about that. He's a rat. I mean, some people, they have a mental illness. Some people have rats as pets. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, It's a rodent, but I guess technically isn't like a ferret in the rodent family or weasel, some kind. I don't know. Look, as long as I can keep you and your mouse entertained. I mean, we got Josh and Kelly. They're down at Disney. I'm entertaining one of the biggest mice on the planet. MICKEY Mouse. Blair says, Brad, now you can talk all you want on YouTube, nonstop. Ain't nobody need that. Ain't nobody need me talking nonstop. I'm going to tell you right now. Wait a second. Tara, did you name, I'm reading the comments, did you name the rat Remy from Ratatouille? Wait, is it, Tara, is this your rat? It's legitimately a rat that is sitting with you right now watching this video. Who keeps a rat as a pet? I can only understand it if you also have a pet snake and the snake gets hungry, and it's a circle of life. You got to feed the rat to the snake. Oh my God. Remy from Ratatouille. Megan says, now you're trying to get Mickey to sponsor this. I need some of that Disney money. Hey, Mickey, if you're out there, it's your temporarily retired friend, Brad Austin. My real last name is Disney, Bradley Disney. But, you know, I don't want to brag, so I go by Brad Austin. Yes, a rat is on my lap watching you right now, says Tara. Nicole, I'm very sorry, by the way, that you also know Tara and her rat. There's something wrong with you people. Of course, I'm the guy who's sitting on YouTube in my house drinking wine and talking, so there's something wrong with me too. So I guess we're just a little band of misfit toys, and we're all together here in one place for a love of good conversation, or at least erratic conversation, and having a drink and blowing off a little steam on a Wednesday night. John says he thought they were talking about the Chihuahua. Yeah, probably about the same size. Rat, Chihuahua, probably about the same size. But clearly there are multiple pets watching the Wine Wednesday festivities tonight for our first night on YouTube. That's awesome. Tony comments, yes, it is a rat, Brad. Tony, was this your idea, by the way? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being 100% in, and 1 being it caused a major fight, how supportive of you, Tony, were you of getting this rat as a pet? 1 to 10. 10 being you were doing cartwheels into the store to buy it. 1 being Tara had to drag you in from the parking lot. 1 to 10. Be honest with me. How supportive of you were you of this rat situation? Tony says they're very smart and very clean. That also doesn't answer the question, Tony. They're very smart, they're very clean. How supportive of you were you of this? Wait a second. Newsflash, breaking news. Tara says Tony had to convince me. It was his idea. Oh, my. Well, Tara, you had what, a hedgehog? You had a hedgehog. God bless him. So, fine. You guys are crazy. Denise says Brad is very smart and clean too. Most days, I'm temporarily retired. I don't have to, care for myself like I used to, and I had to report to the office every day. Although I still do, because that's disgusting. But Dawn says you should have a Snapchat filter for Wine Wednesday. I'll boost it and use it. There should be a Wine Wednesday Snapchat filter. I got to work on that. Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, look, we're just shy of an hour in, our very first ever YouTube Wine Wednesday. And if you're watching on TV, my hands look gigantic right now. But this was so cool, getting to hang out. Hung up the old American flag tonight with a little decor. Might have to dress up the space a little bit since I can't do it on my phone until the channel gets 1,000 subscribers and I can be mobile again and move around. So I got to dress up my digs here. I got to get some more decorations, some stuff on the counter. We got the American flag, September 11th. So we'll have to jazz it up. But I think it's pretty good for the first time ever on YouTube. I think it's went pretty good. We've talked about rats. We got really real with each other about September 11th and September 12th. We talked about wine. I let you in on a dirty little secret that when I was like a sniveling 19-year-old kid, I hosted a TV show back in my hometown. Those tapes will never see the light of day, ever. There are a few that exist, never going to see the light of day. We talked about a lot of stuff. And more importantly, you supported me and you came here and you watched this either live or on a replay. And God bless you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for letting me be part of your Wednesday nights. It's a routine. It's a tradition. And I think, we'll look at the metrics of this afterwards, but I think this might be our new home. I'm bummed that until we get to the 1,000 subscriber mark that I can't use my phone and do this anywhere, but we'll get there. I know we will. It's a small thing to do to build a bigger, wider audience on YouTube. So God bless you. Thank you to all of our brave men and women serving our country. You're in our hearts today, not just because it's September 11th, but because you're in our hearts every day. And to all of our first responders, God bless you guys too. Doesn't matter if you're a local cop, MDTA cop, DelDOT, Delaware State Police, Transportation Authority, Sheriff, State Trooper. Thank you guys. And to all of our brave firefighters and our EMS and EMTs, today is your day where we say thank you for what your brothers and sisters did 18 years ago. And to all of you, thanks for being here on our first ever YouTube. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, bring your friends along. The ride is going to continue, and maybe we'll have like a viewer of the week. Maybe I'll get like somebody's profile picture and I'll blow it up and I'll put it on the wall right behind me here. And we'll be able to pick their nose and poke their eyes, and maybe we'll have like a viewer of the week that we make fun of. I'll hang their picture up on my wall. Everyone's like, no, don't do that. Thank you. Sincerely, appreciate you being here. I love you, and I hope to see you again 1 week from tonight, next Wednesday, the 18th, 7 o'clock, youtube.com/Madly Bradley. You're the best. Thanks for being here.